Let's go.
So yeah, episode 7 this is, which is
Flying
mad, isn't it? Considering the last time we were doing this before the video recordings, we were doing an average of 1 every 2 months.
Well, we did. I think we did 7 in the space of 4 years. So,
and then like a 3-year break.
Yeah, we're doing pretty good in fairness.
Yeah, we're doing pretty good. We're going at a fair little clip there now. So this week's chat is going to be about the most recent UFC card, UFC 261, Usman versus Masvidal, their second meeting, and for one of the first, if not the first, live event back with a crowd in quite a while that we've seen, it was pretty much a humdinger, right?
Yep.
Fucking a lot of drama.
It did not disappoint. It had a bit of everything.
Yeah.
For the veteran fans,
Couple of crazy moments.
Couple of very strange moments, which we'll dig into now in a minute. But yeah, absolutely. I mean, the matchups were great anyway. Before the card actually happened, the matchups themselves were great. I was afraid of getting too excited about them. You know that way you go, oh, there's a great matchup, and it just turns into a stinker. But this one,
just as you bring that up, just let me throw something out there.
Go for it.
Have you heard Cerrone and Sanchez is off?
Say that again.
Cerrone and Sanchez.
Oh, is it?
Oh, fuck.
Didn't hear why. I don't know if it's official, but what is official is Dillashaw and Sandhagen is off.
That's off. I was bummed out that one. Now.
I seen Dillashaw crack his eyebrow open in training.
Yeah.
So that's off.
Seeing that. That's annoying.
Yeah.
Just thought I'd mention that while you were.
Yeah. That I think that was a great matchup. I think we I don't know whether we talked about it on
not yet, no
video, but me and John were chatting about it, and I think it was it's an interesting one where Dillashaw is looking to get back into the ranks.
Yeah.
Corey Sandhagen is someone who seems to be having quite a good bit of forward momentum behind him.
Well, let's face it, if Sandhagen wins that, he's getting a shot.
Definitely. Oh man, definitely.
Yeah.
Anyway, it'd be interesting. They haven't mentioned who they're going to replace Dillashaw with.
At the moment, it looks like they're not replacing it. I think the co-main jumped to main for now.
Okay.
I think they said Cerrone's staying on the card.
But they're just getting a new opponent.
It was going to be his story altogether.
Okay, sure. Well, I suppose we'll just dive right in. The first fight on the main card was in the light heavyweight division. It was Anthony Smith against Jimmy Crute. At the time of the fight, Smith was ranked 6 and Crute was ranked 13, I think it was, in the light heavyweight division.
Yeah.
What did you think about the matchup?
It's a great matchup.
Yeah.
It's
two big aggressive dudes, huh?
Yeah. Smith is I suppose you call him a veteran at this stage.
Yeah,
he's close to. He's 40 odd fights, hasn't he?
Yeah,
he has a lot of fights under his belt.
I tell you one thing, lads. He's probably. I was just having a little look at him at his record there. So he's probably the most well-rounded finisher in the UFC.
He has a very.
He hasn't been to a decision. He hasn't had the decision win since 2016.
Wow.
So it's either
How many has he won since 2016?
So I'll tell you now, he is he went 9 wins and all stoppages since that fight in 2016. That was February 2016. He fought Leonardo Augusto Guimarães. That was Fight Night Cowboy versus Cowboy. That was the decision win. He dropped the decision. I think that might have been. I think that those 2 fights were at middleweight. Then had a TKO over Elvis Motapic, I think it is. Andrew Sanchez, head kick and punches. Hector Lombard, TKO and punches. He was beaten by Thiago Santos. Then he had that big knockout against Rashad Evans, knockout against Mauricio Hua, submission against Volkan Ozdemir, lost the decision against John Jones, and a fight he didn't really get going in.
No, he didn't.
He beats Alexander Gustafsson, rear naked choke. Had that unbelievably, I know it was controversial at the time, but a massive show of grit and determination in his loss by TKO to Glover Teixeira.
Yep.
He dropped the unanimous decision against Alexander Rakic, and then he had a submission win against Devin Clark, and then we had that fight against.
It's a weird one because I've always liked Smith. I think he's fantastic. He always shows up. I know.
Seems like a good lad as well.
Yeah,
he does. Yeah.
I know in the Jones fight he never really got into gear. And I was quite surprised when I heard a lot of people online kind of writing him off after
kind of shitting on him a little bit, to be honest, weren't they?
Loads of people were just like, "Oh, he's not. He was just catapulted into it. He's not ready for it." Dude is a beast.
I think in a way, this might sound a bit odd, but I think in a way he kind of underestimates himself as to how technically good he is.
Yeah.
In a weird kind of way, I think he nearly got into the fight with Jones. Like he despite all what he said, he just didn't seem like he believed that he deserved to be there.
Yeah.
I think he gave Glover a little bit too much respect. I mean, Glover's an animal. I'm a big fan of Glover.
Yeah.
But I think at that stage, I was kind of edging towards Smith, and I thought, I think he's not going anywhere. I think there's something there with him. I think in his next couple of fights.
I'd like to see him. He doesn't come forward looking for a knockout, if you get me. He kind of plods along, and like if it comes, it comes. Now, don't get me wrong, that's good with some lads as well. Like, do you know what I mean? But I'd like to see him hunt a knockout.
Yeah.
Like, go for things. Be more aggressive, I suppose. I'm trying to say.
And he gets the KOs and he gets the submissions.
Yeah.
But I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
I think they all just to him.
Yeah.
Whereas if he went looking for it, I think he could, like you say, build that confidence and be a bit more successful, I suppose. Like,
and he's well rounded enough.
Gone out that division, the 205 division. I think Smith could be one of the top lads in there.
Definitely.
If he was a bit more aggressive.
Yeah.
Definitely. He's well rounded enough that I think he could carry off those sort of tactics of being a little bit more of a headhunter.
He's a big lad as well, like.
Yeah, 6'4".
Yeah, he is. He's a big dude.
Black belt in BJJ. You know, he's mixed it up with like the who's who, the light heavyweight division: Alexander Gustafsson, Glover, John Jones, Volkan, Shogun, Rashad.
Yeah, he's.
I think his time at middleweight probably was. I think he was really putting himself under a lot of pressure.
He's too big frame wise.
He didn't turn light heavyweight until he stopped Rashad Evans.
Yeah, that was 2017 or something, was it?
18.
That was 18, yeah. But I noticed anyway in this fight against Jimmy Crew, who again, Jimmy Crew is a proper game fighter as well.
Yeah.
Smith was using a good bit of lateral movement. He was circling a lot. He has a 2-inch reach advantage, and I noticed he was pumping the jab quite a bit, but Crew was working that lead leg.
Yeah, well, that first round was basically, I think, Anik that said it. Basically, it was Smith's jab versus Crew's leg kicks.
That's exactly what it was. It really was.
Now, to say that, it makes it sound like a boring fight, which it wasn't. Not at all.
No.
Great fight for as long as it lasts. But basically, if you want to break it down, that's what was going on in that first round. And Smith's jab looked fucking great. It was a seriously fast jab.
It was fast. It wasn't. He wasn't loading up on it, and it was doing damage. Just straight jab.
Yeah. Crew's legs went a bit wobbly and all. Like,
I was going to say though, because I actually rewatched it today. It was literally on the outside. It was that jab, double jab, long distance shots to the leg kicks.
Yeah.
But I actually think Crew's leg kicks, basically, you know the way they say sometimes if someone hits a right hand, the first thing that the other fellow will try and land is a right hand. If someone does, it actually nearly woke Smith into the leg kick. And before the one that really did the damage, he hurt him with another leg kick as well.
He did.
So it almost nearly woke him up.
Smith's legs were, you could see them, they were getting raw from them.
They were getting chopped. They were getting chopped.
But that's what forced him to respond with the leg.
With leg kick. He needed to.
And he hurt Crew before that one that you really hurt him with. He landed one and you could see it digging in, and you could see Crew kind of stand off a little bit as if, fuck, I wasn't almost like I'm supposed to be doing that. My plan was to do that.
People forget that Smith has serious leg skills.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
But that as well as that, even if you look at it in replay, and I think people who are probably not used to watching MMA, and especially the leg kick, if you look at it, it didn't look like much. But when you see where it landed,
it wasn't perfectly placed.
Where it landed was the equivalent of hitting someone on the chin.
Come here, we've seen this before. It happened with Cejudo.
Yeah.
And there's someone else I'm trying to think of it happened with as well. I can't remember who it was. Fucking O'Malley.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. The leg just goes
fucking nerve in the leg. And that lads are taking a kick on it, and their leg is absolutely asleep.
Yeah.
It's knocking off all power.
I'm not sure. I'm sure it's no crack at all, but I'm not sure. It's one of those things that looks a lot worse than it is. It looks like your leg is broke, but it's not. Just the nerve is stuck. Yeah, it looks like a broken ankle.
You know what? Actually, in this one, I know what you mean. But it did look like a broken ankle. But then, did you see when he sat down on the stool and the camera went in? It looked like he managed to dislocate his knee.
Yeah,
or something like that. Like you were looking at it going, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
But for anyone that has never taken a leg kick, like a shot in the jaw that puts it out, you'll stand up and you'll be fine 999,000 times out of. You know what I mean? But a leg kick, a good couple of leg kicks can fuck you up for weeks and months.
And in fairness, I don't know if many people kind of complained or whatever like that, but that was a proper call by the doctor and the ref to stop it.
Absolutely.
And I seen when he got frustrated and he turned around to punch the cage and he nearly went on his ear.
No, he did go down.
Did he?
He punched the padding and he went down again.
Just went.
I have to say, you have to give it the Crew for being as tough as fuck.
He said, did you hear what he said? He said I was planning on just going and pulling guard because he was willing to keep on going.
And can we just say as well, after that, sorry, John, say that again.
I think that's a prime example of a fighter being too tough for his own good.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Take another leg kick on that, and fuck knows what happens to your knee, your ankle.
Yeah.
And was it just
keep on going?
Was it just me that when the leg really went and he managed, like I'm not saying we understand it, but I literally don't understand how he was able to manage to get a takedown and scramble and maintain position, because it did look like his knee was like not aligned properly or his leg just wasn't responding, and he still managed it. And this isn't like you're in a practice room. This is against a fucking killer. This is against someone who is amongst the top 1% of the toughest human beings on the planet. Like that's how elite this is. And he's in there on one fucking leg, and he still managed to get a takedown, still managed to maintain a position. Like I was just thought, well, the fight's over. That's it. You could see the leg went, and he was getting into for half a takedown. I said he won't be able to support himself. Smith he'll just adjust the weight, push him off, and it's going to be fucking a quick finish. And then he just keeps going, and he manages to get a hold of him again and get a hold of him again. Just to be able to do that is fucking mind-blowing.
We were talking a while ago about actually how tough Smith is. And Mark, you were saying about the Teixeira fight. And he fucking had to ask the ref to pick his bleeding teeth up or put his gum shield back in, and he comes back. Like, holy fuck. Against him and gets a takedown with one leg basically. I was watching that takedown. You can actually see him springing off the leg that was hurt.
That's right. That's right. He uses the bad leg.
That leg was dead. And he's springing off him for the bleeding takedown.
Yeah.
What is going on?
And Crew to finisher as well. He hasn't been to a decision since 2018. He's had what's his name? Crew, is it?
Yeah.
He's a good finisher as well. So he had including his contender series fight. He won that by TKO. He followed that up with a submission of Paul Craig, I think it's the Scottish guy.
Yep.
TKO win over Sam Alvey. He was submitted then by Misha Serkinov, but then he submission win and then a KO win.
Yeah.
So, he was coming in there into that fight 5-1 in the UFC with 5 stoppages.
There's no way. Yeah, he's not a opponent to be taken lightly at all.
He is. Yeah, he's 25.
Yeah, he's still going. He's still a force to be reckoned with in the light heavyweight division.
Listen, he's got a. Yeah, we won't comment on that one. He's 25. Listen, he's fucking loads left the tank. Once he can rehab himself and heal himself up.
If he keeps making shows like that,
yeah,
absolutely,
keep bringing him back.
Absolutely, like that's not a bad shield to go out on losing like that against someone like Smith.
Could he cut the middleweight, lads?
Crew.
I'd say he could, but he's big.
He's a big, thick unit, but is he carrying a bit? Could he make that drop?
I'd say he could.
He could, but I'm not sure.
Fucking if he could do it without, affecting his performance, he'd be some unit at middleweight. Jesus,
He would be.
Yeah, I'm interested in seeing fighting again, but I have to say I like Smith.
Yeah,
it was nice to see him get back in
I'm
there.
I'm glad to see him win.
I think
yeah. Oh, we did actually, didn't we? Yeah.
Not what I did anyway.
So yeah, it's good win by Smith. The next fight is difficult to talk about because there's nothing really to take.
I don't think we need to talk too much about it, but
no, there's not much to talk about.
Chris Weidman, who was ranked 11 at the time, and Uriah Hall was ranked 9. I had picked Weidman to win because
I think I had as well.
Uriah Hall is one of those. Yeah, he's one of those fighters who's a little bit of an unknown quantity insofar as he's very much a mental kind of fighter, if you know what I mean. I
think he has his head screwed on a bit more nowadays after the Silva fight.
Like even after the fight, if you want to call it a fight, he was quite calm and composed, and he kind of carried himself well. It's not a win that you'd want under your belt, is it?
No.
Absolutely horrendous.
Despite the similarities, it's very different to the Weidman Silva fight because that actually went a bit of the distance. And Weidman
we didn't learn anything like.
Weidman was checking those kicks in that what's that Thai kickboxing style where they block with elbows and knees to damage the opponent with a block.
Way, is it?
Can't remember what it's called. But, whereas this seemed to be Weidman came in, threw a big, heavy leg kick, but his angle was very strange, wasn't it?
It's like he brought the leg from. I know it was his back leg that kicked, but it's like he lifted it and brought it all the way around.
And on top of that, he brought it in at an angle where it met the front of Uriah Hall's shin, which is a bad place to meet when you're the one throwing it. And Hall,
especially if Hall checked it.
He checked it, like he leaned into it and put all his weight behind his own knee. And I mean, that's all you can really say about it. A brutal injury that you wouldn't wish on anyone, except maybe Tito Ortiz.
For people that don't regularly watch around, it goes to show how hard these guys are throwing leg kicks.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
The amount of force behind that.
It was fucking horrible. It's horrendous to see that. Like his whole leg wrapped around Hall's leg.
Yep.
It was like a fucking hairpin.
Yep.
And when it came back, he went to put his weight on it.
Yep.
And he said himself, that's when the bone came out through the skin.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
For fuck's sake. You can even see Hall's reaction is just like...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was sitting on the couch watching it, and I was just like, oh, no way, you can't believe what you've just seen. And then they show a replay, and I swear I broke out from top to toe in a cold sweat watching it in slow-mo, it was rough. You don't see that happen.
Not often you get a warning from the announcers.
Yeah.
When you're watching a fight, that this has a graphic fucking warning.
This is very graphic.
Oh,
Do not watch.
Horrible.
Yeah, it was pretty grim. I do feel bad for him because that's a tough one to come back from, both physically and mentally. Because
I think more mentally than anything else. I think the body will heal, but
big time.
Mentally,
but in fairness, I have seen videos from Weidman since, and he seems in great form.
He's on a plane home. He's
playing home on crutches already, and he's.
Come here. The first thing Anderson Silva did when he got into a fight after his leg break was throw a leg kick.
I know. Yeah, you have to shake off.
But that is what makes that's what separated him.
Yeah.
Even though he was at the tail end of his career, that's what separated him to a lot of people. That mindset.
Yeah.
They're built different, those people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, come here. How much of a coincidence is it that?
Mental.
You know what I mean? Like,
it's a weird coincidence between the three of them.
Yeah. I'd be a bit worried now if I was Hall throwing leg kicks. Throwing any leg kicks in my next fight.
Maybe. I know the ultimate fight for Hall to take, if that's not what he wants. He should fight Jake Paul next.
Don't talk about that cunt. Jesus Christ.
Why? Because Jake Paul would kill him? Yeah, no, you're right. But anyway, that's
the places. The other thing is though, because the reality is we didn't learn anything from the fight.
Yeah,
it does put you're all in a weird position. I was listening to Chael Sonnen the other day. Now I skip between agreeing, but I'd say like 50-50 with him. He goes off in mad rants, but it puts Hall in a weird place that he had 3 losses in a row. 2 of those were TKOs. He's now 5 of his last 6 are wins. 4 of those are stoppages.
Yeah.
The thing is, though, when you actually look at them, I mean, an aging and like an Anderson Silva in 2020 who really shouldn't have been in there,
wasn't it?
Huh?
But by the time Hall fought Silva, his record was fucking horrible.
Yeah, you know. Antonio Carlos Jr., you know, he's fine. Bevan Lewis, okay. Like, fucking Chael is on about him fighting Adesanya. Wait, not fucking. Come on. I think weirdly his record is kind of a bit like him. Like you don't really know what to make of it.
Yeah.
Despite all the talents he has, all the the obvious talents he has, you still don't know where to put him. Like
I honestly
he loses. He takes Robert Whittaker to a decision loss, then gets stopped by Derek Brunson, stopped by Gergen Mousasi, stops Christoph Jocko, loses the Paulo Costa. Then has a kind of a really weird 4-fight win streak in that. And Anderson Silva should be retired. Chris Weidman breaks his leg. It just kind of, I don't know, where do you put him? What do you do with him?
If he showed up and he's like he was guaranteed you're going to get his A game.
Yeah,
I wouldn't mind seeing him fight Adesanya
because from a purely stylistic point of view,
he's a great fucking striker. If you ever see him in what's that? Is it the PFL Chuck Norris's thing and the kind of
You
ever see his fights in that?
Yeah,
he's fucking unreal. Like his striking is out up through the roof. Like he's a great striker, which obviously it's a good matchup for Adesanya. It's great fight that way. But like you said, you don't know what you're going to get off him.
No, he needs to kind of cut his teeth on a top 5 opponent before you can get that.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I mean, theoretically, he is top 5 material. He's just when you look at.
I think physically he is. The reality is, it's not all about that.
Yeah.
Do you have the mindset, the confidence, the consistency, the turn-up? Because that's, if you look at top 5s, if they're a real top 5, when I say that, I mean some divisions are lighter than others, and people, rankings can be a little bit odd, but a real consistent top 5er is someone that is. See, John. That's John's done now. He said he's sick of our bullshit. A real consistent top 5. You see it with them. They're always there or thereabouts. You know what I mean? Like,
is that?
I say.
Still hear his big mouth from over there. It's all right.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. Yeah,
I don't know. I'm not sold on him on top 5.
No, I wouldn't be. I'm not sold on him, but I do think is for me, he's too much of a hit and miss fighter. He needs to kind of show that he belongs in the top 5.
If you look at it another way,
yeah.
What year was the TUF he came through? Him and Gaston. What year was that? You're talking 6 or 7 years ago at least.
That's like 2006.
Tell you now.
16?
He was
14, maybe, no?
2013.
Fuck off. That's 7 years ago. Yeah, shit.
Starting 7, 8 years for him to get ranked 7.
Yeah.
When he came out with that, we're all going, "Oh, this is the next Anderson Silva."
Yeah, they lost their shit about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's how much he's dropped the ball.
Yeah.
True. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the next fight was I totally called this one wrong. Completely called this one wrong. I just thought that maybe Jessica Andrade was going to show a little bit. I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking. I just thought she was going to show a bit more. Anyway, Valentina Shevchenko, the champion, the flyweight champion, against Jessica Andrade, who's the #1 contender. What I didn't realize was the stats that Shevchenko had a 4.5-inch reach advantage. Didn't realize that. I knew she was a bit taller, just didn't realize the reach would have been.
I don't think that. To be honest, I don't think the reach made much of a difference.
Not in this fight.
No.
If you had told me before the fight that Valentina was not going to use her reach that much, I wouldn't believe you. But I don't think anyone was expecting that level of clinch work and wrestling takedowns. She took her down 5 times in the first round.
Shevchenko reminds me of a female fucking Demetrius Johnson.
Yeah, she's
getting that good, isn't she?
She really is.
She's so perfect in absolutely everything she does.
Yeah. Like some of those takedowns were beautiful.
Even we haven't seen that from her before. We've seen takedowns, obviously, but the wrestling aspect, like, what do you say about it? Like, she just absolutely outclassed Andrade.
What I was going to say was
the game that we haven't seen from her before.
Yeah,
I think that might have been the most complete performance of a defending champion, possibly in the last 10 years.
I'd agree if you took out Demetrius
Johnson.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
Besides Demetrius Johnson, that was
dominant.
Like,
absolutely.
And beautiful to watch.
Yeah.
Like, I think, listen, the three of us can't pretend to be any experts on wrestling, but we're watching this a long time, and like, it's not like Andrade is a fucking nobody here. Like, Andrade is an animal.
Yeah.
And not only that, the positioning.
Yeah.
Every takedown was seen to be directly in a pre-thought position.
Yeah, like there was a point
like you already wanted to land. Right, I'm going to do this. Like it was flawless.
There was a point where Andrade had Shevchenko against the cage, and Shevchenko really calmly walked her across the octagon and just took her down like it was nothing. And then there was another time where Andrade went for a hip throw, and Valentina Shevchenko was just having none of it and just leg sweeped her.
Yeah.
I think that was close to the end of it, was it?
That was the end of that first round, yeah.
And that's
Shevchenko. When she got the body lock on Andrade, it just looked absolutely like solid.
Yeah.
It looked like misery, didn't it?
Yeah.
Like that. And she just wasn't.
It looked like misery.
Do you know what? It didn't look like it was a lot of effort for her either.
No, very easy.
She looked like calm with it.
She looked so much stronger than Andrade.
Yeah.
And that's Andrade coming into that fight was #1 in the rankings, obviously, and #6 in the UFC women's pound for pound rankings.
Yeah.
Now I know the pound for pound rankings is a made up fucking thing, but for anyone that isn't too familiar with her, I mean, this one's an animal. Like, 8 knockout wins, 7 submissions, jiu-jitsu black belt. Coming into the fight though, and this I think is the problem. She was coming in to a championship fight, having lost 3 of her last 4.
Yeah, and
it's such a thin division. she won the championship, lost it. Then she lost the split decision to Rose Namajunas, and she looked fantastic last time out against Kathleen Chookagian.
Chookagian, yeah.
Yeah, she looked fantastic. She did, and that was her flyweight debut.
Yeah.
But the problem with the flyweights is one win, and she's
in. And fairness to Kathleen Chookagian, she's tough and she's a gritty kind of fighter.
Yeah,
but she doesn't have even closely that kind of skill set that would test you.
No, but the other thing is we can only say we're not taking away from Shevchenko in the sense of
Jesus, no.
She beat who was put in front of her. She beat someone who technically would have been physically stronger than her, well rounded, around a long time, coming off a KO win.
Yeah,
but she literally looked flawless, didn't she?
She just ragdolled her. She just manhandled her.
I think that's another division cleared out with a champion.
Like, who else is there? Like,
yeah.
Does Rose go for it again? Become a 2-division champ?
Come here. I wouldn't be rushing to fight Shevchenko.
No.
Anybody? I can't see anyone rushing to fight her.
The only person I could see that would actually beat her would be Jake Paul. Actually, I'd pay money to watch him box her because she'd send him home in a body bag.
The only thing would be if Zhang Weili.
Yeah, well, I seen that. I seen who was it fucking calling for it? I think it was Cormier. I seen him saying there that'd be the fight to make. Weili's coming off a bleeding loss.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
spoiler alert.
Yeah.
yeah. But
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think they're going to. The reality is, it's going to be about challenges now, isn't it?
I think it's a good fight now.
It is a good fight. You're not wrong there. It is a good fight, and it's also an interesting matchup.
Yeah.
So anyway, we'll just move on because it was a great fight, but she made Andrade look like she was completely out of her depth.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So the next fight then was the strawweight championship, and that was Zhang Weili, the champ, against Rose Namajunas, the number one contender. I've said it before. I think when Rose comes to the cage, when she's clued in for whatever mental thing it is she does, when she's clued in and she knows what she wants, she's an absolute world ender.
Yeah, she is.
There's absolutely no one that can stop her. I don't think when she's in the right zone.
I never pick Rose to win.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why. I just don't. And I think this will be the last time I'm down her.
Yeah.
I thought Weili was gonna maul her, to be honest.
You thought Weili would?
Yeah, I thought she just.
We all picked Weili for that, didn't we?
I picked Rose.
I picked Weili, yeah. I just thought it don't sound like I think Rose is fragile or something like that. I just think the pure violence of Weili was going to be too much. I just thought the force, the power was going to be too much for her.
Well, after the Jacek fight, I didn't see Weili get knocked out.
No, fuck no.
Yeah, took savage shots in that fight.
Yeah, that's true. She showed how durable she was.
It was almost like she was caught a bit cold, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a weird one. You could
almost like she was kind of caught cold, nearly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, if you see it, I rewound this a few times now when I was watching it. She actually slid back because she thought that was a leg kick. You see her sliding her legs back and her hands went up.
Yeah.
Big came up and caught her right in the fucking chin. Like.
And it's weird that she did that because I don't think Rose kind of fainted.
No.
It wasn't
Did she throw a leg kick before that?
Huh?
Did Rose throw a leg kick?
I think she threw not directly before, but I think she did throw a high kick before that.
It must have been stinging kicks to get her to react that bad from just lifting her foot. Yeah. And it came up her chin so fucking quick.
Oh, man, where it landed. Absolutely
split the guard. Because Weili, you see that in a lot of fighters when they slide out of the way of a leg kick, their hands go
arms up.
It opens that guard up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it came up so quick and just caught her right in the bleeding chin.
There was no flattening, was there?
No.
On the button though as well.
Protesting it afterwards. Protesting it. And I think she must have been fucking out cold.
Oh, she was.
So nothing happened there.
She was
fucking
gone.
out.
She was gone.
Shots.
Again, we probably didn't learn all that much from it in the sense of it was 1:20 seconds.
Yeah.
They'll probably do it again.
Match.
I'm going to say in a rematch with Fancy Weili, which means since I've just said that, Rose has got to win because I wouldn't honestly.
Although John said he wouldn't bet against Rose again, which probably means Weili is going to win.
Oh.
So
I would like to see a fight between them again, and I would like to see it play out a little bit because the skill sets match up very, very well.
Yeah,
I'd probably say Weili is probably a little bit better rounded, but I'd say Rose probably nicks her in one or two specific areas, especially at the distance.
speed.
Speed probably. Well, I don't know. I don't think that much in the speed. Maybe. I'd say Rose is definitely better off her back. Weili, we probably haven't seen her much on her back, but I think that the skill sets play for a very interesting fight. If we even got out into the second, third round, I think it'd be something to watch, and it would be. It's never going to be those two. The two styles match up. It's never going to be boring.
No,
they're going to get fireworks. Whoever wins, it's going to be impressive.
Yeah,
and it probably will be a finish. The two girls are good finishers.
And it's a weird one, isn't it? It's rare that you get a women's title fight that's boring.
Yeah,
they don't fuck around.
And not only title fights. I think if you look at it, a lot of the fights. I went through an awful habit a couple of years ago of rewatching fights. If I could guess, like it's this. A lot of it was female fights, decisions. Fuck it, I haven't got time for this shit. I stopped that and I started watching them, and like a lot of barnstorming fights like that. It's like it was nearly like a point to prove there.
Yeah.
You think we don't belong here? I'll show you if you don't belong here.
Yeah.
But just got to show last year's fight of the year was Zhang and Jacek.
Yeah.
That's never happened before.
And again, if you look at it, like people,
maybe it's 20 million.
Listen, I don't give a fuck if it's men or women. I don't care. If you look at it, a couple of like Shevchenko, Nunes, Zhang Weili, Rose, like these are some of the best fighters on the planet. Period.
Yeah.
Male or female. I mean, the skill sets are fucking extraordinary.
Astronomical.
You know what I mean? Like Nunes is a fucking animal. Rose Namajunas, unreal. Zhang Weili, Shevchenko, we just saying, like.
Yeah.
I mean, skill for skill, Shevchenko is, as we were saying, she's looking at Demetrius Johnson territory. She's outrageously good. And
on a side note, sorry, you finished. Just absolutely nothing to do with the fight. Like Pat Barty walking down to the octagon with Rose, he looks in fucking great shape. He's off the drink and all, you know that?
I didn't know that.
But look, he went bad on the drink there a few years ago.
Okay, yeah.
Real bad.
He's very likeable, isn't he?
He is, yeah. I was just saying, I'd love to see him getting a fight back.
Yeah. I think would he be better off just going kickboxing, would he?
I'd say so, yeah.
Yeah.
But he looks now like he's a middleweight.
Does he?
Do you know, it just looks so much more toned. He's not carrying around all that extra weight and all. Like he fought anyway, which is not
5'10" or something, isn't he?
Yeah, 5'10". Myself and Paul were saying there a few years back that like you'd love to see him and Crow Cop drop down to even light heavyweight.
Yeah.
Looking at him walking down there during the night, he looked like a fucking.
He's carrying less chest and shoulder bulk, isn't he?
He looks a lot more toned.
Yeah.
But anyway, so just a side note, I'd like to see him getting a fight.
I liked him. He had no.
He's likable. He was very likable.
Yeah.
A quick one just before we finish up. Did you see UFC 263 has a main event?
Well, we haven't talked about the main event yet here.
Sorry. Shit, we haven't.
That's
the
one fan we have watching this, just
gone. Okay, so yeah.
Pricks.
Main event.
Bullshit.
Which I bizarrely forgotten. Totes embarrassing. Kamaru Usman, the welterweight champ, against Jorge Masvidal, who was ranked 4,
I think.
At that time, I can't remember. Yeah, 4. Usman had a 2-inch reach advantage.
Paul Paul, you picked fucking Masvidal, did you?
I picked Masvidal for the upset.
I can't remember did I pick Masvidal or not, but
like you said about Rose, I'm not going to pick against Usman anymore. There's no point. He's
up there now. He's
especially with this fight. I think for me, he proved a lot. I think he didn't get rattled. I know he wasn't going to get rattled, but you know, Masvidal is the sort, and he did do it, who'll throw random flying knees out of nowhere. He is, but Usman didn't go headhunting. He didn't get pulled out of his own game. He landed loads of lovely 1-2 combos.
Yeah,
he let the jab do a lot of work.
On that, I wanted to say something. I was listening to. Like I said just there, I listened to Chael Sonnen, but he said something that I agreed with, and it was something actually, Paul, we talked about when we discussed Darren Till fighting Tyron Woodley. And it's this weird thing whereby a striker who's going in, who knows they have a significant advantage in that area, do things that they wouldn't normally do. If you look at, say, the Darren Till fight, we talked about this, was a southpaw fighting an orthodox fighter, leading with a lead hand uppercut from the outside.
Yeah.
Darren Till is a Muay Thai specialist. He's striking a long time. Any coach on earth would fuck you out our gym if you were 4 years, 5 years training and you did that. Because you're literally opening the door.
Just leaving yourself completely open, yeah.
And that's what happened. So he would never have done that against what's his name?
Usman.
No, against another striker, against a real top level striker. He would have never thought of doing that.
Yeah.
He thought I could make a cunt of him and do things to him that I shouldn't be able to do to him, and he couldn't. And if you look at the fight with Usman and Masvidal, it was very clear very early on he had no respect, none.
Yeah. I was thinking
his hands, none.
It looked like Masvidal looked like he had 100 fights under his belt.
Yeah, the most relaxed man on earth.
Confidence in the stand-up.
Way too confident.
Too much. Yeah.
Because the whole thing is that, especially with MMA, to a degree in boxing and kickboxing and that kind of thing, but especially in MMA, you don't have to be the best striker. Like Gokoi
Saki?
Yeah. I mean, this is a K1 legend. This is a kickboxing master. Like, what he has forgotten about kickboxing. Most high-level kickboxers couldn't write on a fucking stamp.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy is fucking unbelievable. Goes in and gets knocked out.
Yeah. By someone who's not a kickboxer.
By someone who's not a kickboxer. You don't have to be technically perfect to be effective.
It wasn't even a top 10 fighter in the USA that knocked him out. That was
crazy. No, it was Kelly Roundtree.
Roundtree, yeah.
He was ranked 15.
No.
And he fucking knocked Saki dead.
Yeah.
Dead.
Clean out.
Dead.
Sparked him.
Because all the dynamics change when you add in takedowns, kicks, leg kick, everything.
Yeah.
And it looked like Masvidal, despite all his experience, just looked at it like, it was like he thought the first time round, it was a wrestling that fucked me.
Yeah.
Once I address that, I can do what I fucking want.
Yeah, absolutely.
He was way too confident. He was doing things that you wouldn't have done against someone if he had real respect for their striking. His head, you never see it before in his other fights. His head was bang on central line on his retreats.
Yeah.
He was going in on central line. He tried that switch thing, but he tried it at a kind of a weird angle. He was getting hit with a jab. And anyone will tell you, you get hit, anyone that has ever been hit with a jab, if you get hit with a jab, you may as well anticipate a second one.
Yeah, there's something coming after it.
Because it's not going to be a jab, it's going to be a right hand. So the natural thing is to get offline, or at least either cover, shell up, use your elbows, but generally just to get offline. The jab would hit you, pull offline.
But he didn't.
Because there was times when it was a jab, and then his head was in the exact same position.
Yeah.
Bang with a right hand.
Measuring that.
Yeah.
Jab, his head is there.
Yeah.
Jab, his head is there. Jab, his head there. Eat these fucking knuckles.
Yeah. Done, motherfucker. Done. Sleep.
He absolutely fucking murdered him with that straight.
And the thing is, like,
killer.
listen, is Usman an unbelievable striker? No. He's not particularly smooth or beautiful, but he's certainly gotten a lot better.
Yeah.
He was
over the last 18
things
months.
there. He was throwing a few things there, big hooks, looping fucking hooks, coming after Masvidal.
He was at the end of round 1, and Masvidal was taunting him.
Yeah,
Masvidal was kind of nearly laughing it off. Like, what is that shit? That's not fucking. Yeah, then you're asleep.
Then was fucking beautiful.
What a highlight reel.
Much better.
Yeah.
Not get much better than that.
I can only imagine people listening to this. Like, I'm doing it and I need a drink to get through it. Get sauced up. It's the only way. That's not.
You're looking
but also drink responsibly. And if Balvenie Whiskey want to send me anything, please send me it. I love all your things.
I'll send them the video of this podcast.
Yeah, they'll never send me a thing. They'll actually send me a cease and desist letter, probably.
Yeah, don't ever mention them again, you big ape.
Yeah. They would pay me to not mention them. What a right hand, though.
That was a beautiful straight right, wasn't it?
Fucking
absolutely fantastic.
And again, any purist on could be saying, "Oh, wasn't in a bit of a swing." No. Doesn't matter. It's not about being a beautiful, no fat bang. No,
it's about
fucking measured him. He measured him and he moved him into that space. He did that. I'm throwing a left hook.
And then
he's not throwing it. He just hooked you. Bang.
He set it up perfect.
Good fucking night. That would have stopped 90% of the fucking humans on this earth.
Yeah. Knocked him clean out of his socks. He had no idea what was going on as well when he woke up.
Nice to see him showing a bit of respect after all the bit of bad blood.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Masvidal comes back from this, because I think that might have been in the first humbling moment he's had in his career.
Never been knocked out.
Yeah. First time getting knocked out.
And he was. I've heard him talk. He's been talking about it.
Yeah.
And I read that he was saying, what was it? He thought Usman was shooting him for a takedown.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know how he got that from it.
Yeah, that doesn't look like it was.
He threw that kind of I read that he threw that kind of like that left hook right hand, but all he did was almost touch.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have thought there was a shot coming in.
No.
That's what he was saying. He says, I read it absolutely 100% wrong.
Yeah.
So he knows whether he comes back. Like, come here. I was talking to Mort about this.
Mort.
About the Mort. And I was saying, like, Usman, he's never a championship material. Like, this whole thing, Street Jesus, he came back and he's won a few fights and all. That's grand and all. He knocked a couple of lads clean. Like, but if you look at the lads he's not clean, they're not Usmans. They're not world beaters.
Yeah.
Betty.
Yeah.
Darren Till's clock.
Yeah.
But like, I think Darren Till was overrated at the time, big time.
Yeah.
The biggest bet at that time was Cowboy. And as we all know, Cowboy battles big fights. He fucking always does it.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't think Usman, he's going to get another run at that title. Oh, sorry, not Usman.
Masvidal.
Good gatekeeper.
I think he'll hover.
All he fucking wants, like, do you know what I mean? But I don't see him getting another shot.
I think he'll hover around that number 5 ranking.
Yeah, I think so too.
12 months or so, and he'll probably get knocked off then.
I think he'll hover around the top 5, the top 10 kind of area, and be
a solid competitor, and on his day could be like,
could be a problem for a lot of top 10 fighters.
But 8 out of 10 times, Usman probably takes that fight.
Yeah,
I would say 9 out of 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He just looks nearly unhurtable, doesn't he? Or
he's unrattleable.
Yeah, that's it. He doesn't give a fuck if you're better than him or not. If you think you're better than him or not, if the limelight is on, limelight is off, he doesn't seem to give a bollocks.
Yeah.
Who do you think is next for Usman?
That's a good question.
Who's
the top 5?
We will consult the rankings.
Be Covington, I'm guessing.
Well, I think Covington is confirmed as next.
Is he?
Yeah.
Has he fought since they fought?
I don't think Covington has actually.
No, I don't think he has.
Strange that he gets an immediate rematch like that after losing.
What rank is he?
Oh, I think he's second or fourth.
Sorry, 2
What's-
seconds.
Come on, Mark. Dead air. We're losing our audience.
Fake.
I think we lost him half an hour ago. To be honest. How long are we recording?
50 minutes.
I think we lost him 50 minutes ago. So he's wiping things out, lads. So
Yeah.
Covington is the
Hang on, who? Comby Covington.
Covington is a rematch. Gilbert Burns, I don't think anyone needs to see that again.
No.
Leon Edwards, I don't think has anything for him.
He doesn't, but he's probably the freshest kind of
Yeah,
next
possibly.
in line.
But Leon is up to
Did
5.
fight Dick Diaz.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now the other thing is here. What I will say is, if Nick Diaz beats him and looks good, they'll give Nick Diaz a shot.
Oh yeah,
I
I
don't
think
think they're-
someone has actually confirmed that.
And do you know what?
I think
Good fight.
Yeah.
I don't think Diaz has the bulk or the strength to hold Usman off him, and I'd say he'd really struggle trying to submit him from the bottom.
Yeah,
I think Diaz is fighting Shimoyev now.
I thought it was Edwards.
No, I think that was Shimoyev just looking for the fight.
Oh, I've seen that. Yeah, I think Shimoyev was just.
I think Leon and Nick and Nate is signed. I think.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I think the fucking game has passed both Diaz brothers, boy.
I
Yes,
think
it
so as
has.
well. Yeah.
It has definitely.
Yeah.
But listen, on his day,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Leon shoots on him. He gets caught in a submission, and that's it. Because listen, Leon is a good size welterweight, and he's a good competitor, and he's well rounded. I just don't think he's at that level. But Usman is built like a different beast. He's
Different animal.
thick
Yeah.
and strong. He's well rounded. It's like he's ignorant.
Cardio through the roof as well.
Never stops. Just doesn't
Yeah.
stop. I think it's almost like ignorant. He just won't stop in any of the things. He doesn't give a fuck. He'll box you. He'll go into wrestling exchanges. He'll bulldog you. He'll ragdoll you. Just fuck all getting away from him. I think he's a nightmare, and I just don't think Diaz has the bulk or strength at 170 to really keep him off.
Yeah.
So Stephen Thompson 4, Masvidal's 5. Now number 6, Vicente Luque.
Okay, he's a dark horse in that division.
Dark horse in that division. Give him another win. A good, impressive win. Somewhat aggressive, strong, heavy-handed.
But Thompson bet Luque before. So
Yeah.
to see Luque get a rematch there, and if you bet Thompson, then give him a shot.
Yeah. Other than that, lads, in the top 10, there's no one going to make a run anytime soon. It's Michael Chiesa, Damian Maia, Neil Magny, Jeff Neal. None of them are going anywhere near him anytime soon.
Yeah.
They really aren't.
Well, Diaz and Edwards
He's moved himself on his own, hasn't he? Like he's on his own little island.
Yeah.
Usman.
Yeah, he is definitely. Diaz Edwards is already penciled in for 262.
Yeah.
Who's the 263 or something?
263 is who was it? Sorry. 263 is Izzy and Vittori.
Mm.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
And Whittaker turned the fight down, didn't he?
Yes.
He just said he wasn't going to be ready. He was going to quarantine immediately for 2 weeks. He had a couple of knocks to heal up and get himself ready. You just said, and listen, I don't doubt that. Listen, Whittaker isn't afraid to fight anyone. I think it's just literally a logistical time, and he's not going to be ready for it.
Just a quick touch on that. The way Whittaker fought Gastelum there a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
I don't see him beating Izzy the way he fought him.
No, I think he has to mix up an awful lot more.
He might have built up his speed in attacks and combos and such, but that's Izzy's game, if you know what I mean. I think Vittori gives Izzy more problems than Whittaker does at the minute.
Yeah.
I'd go with you on that, yeah.
And I'll go one step forward and say I think Vittori would be Whitaker as well.
I'd actually got. I'm gonna even go. I'll go one step further with you. I think Vittori's gonna beat Adesanya.
Oh,
Yeah, I think so.
you think that he has mapped out the blueprint to beat Adesanya from his last 2 fights?
Look, listen. I said it. So what's going to happen is he's going to go out and get knocked out in 45 seconds. But what I did say was we don't want to go into going on to another fight card. But Vittori has shown in his career in the UFC, he's not the fastest, but he sets a pace that's about 80% of a sprint. But he never drops it, not for a second. His work rate just doesn't drop off. You could fight that cunt for fucking 10 5-minute rounds. I'd say still maintain the same.
Yeah.
He's figured out a way to just continually go at just above a level that anyone can live with.
Yeah.
His wrestling isn't beautiful. I know fuck all about wrestling, but it's not these beautiful, smooth double legs, high crotches. But he gets in on you, he gets a hold of you, and he, one way or another, be it a trip, a body drag, a double leg, he gets you to the ground, and he's very hard to get off. But I'll say this, he might win. He'll be the most unpopular champion in UFC history, only next to Tito Ortiz, because he's not exactly full of charisma. He doesn't finish anyone.
Yeah.
He doesn't submit anyone. He's just methodical.
He's just there.
Down. Yeah. It's like watching a fucking marathon run or run marathons. Who the fuck wants to do that?
Yeah. I'm just thinking of the amount of times we're after burning Tito Ortiz in this. We should do an episode just on Tito Ortiz.
Just on him, yeah. Or as Chad Khan said, we could do one on his wife.
Oh, shots fired.
Shots fired. Chad's probably listening, and Tito was listening. They're all going to be on it. All I'm saying is, seriously, nobody cares about the money.
No. All right, lads. We call it an evening. Is that good chat?
That's always.
And we'll do it again. I don't know what actually, before we go, what's the next card that's up?
Dominic Reyes is back.
Oh yeah. When is that?
I have a bet done for that. I'll send you a screenshot of it.
Do
see what you think.
Okay.
It's an interesting enough card.
Oh, it's Dominic Reyes against your man Yuri Prochazka or whatever it's.
By the statistics, it would be strange if that fight goes to decision. I suppose we can do another quick one another day if we're gonna do shelter. But it's probably a card that'll fly under the radar. But there's some good scraps on it. There's probably some good finishes on the card. Some kind of unexpected.
See what you think.
Yeah.
Right.
All right.
Yeah. I'm off to put a serious dent in Balvenie whiskey.
Yeah, hit us up.
Hit me up. I know you're listening out there in Scotland.
They're definitely not listening.
No one's listening in Scotland.
No. All right, go on. See you after.
All right.
See you.
Peace.